Hey YouTube, I have here a 2009 Nissan Cube with pink eyelashes that I'm currently working on. The problem is, it was dead in the driveway, found dead in driveway. My wife parked it, went to start it the next morning, would not start. This is what is going on. It has a push button start stop. Oh, I should be back out. I'll show you that both the key fobs still work. Or from a locked position, the button on the door works and you can get in. So the key fobs are working. So the first thing you would do is check the key fob battery. I replaced both of them. Both batteries are brand new. You get in and let's see. I'm not a YouTube video producer here, but this is what happens. Press the brake, and you get that light with the key. So it sees the key. It sees the key. And that goes away. But I'm getting a blinking shape of a car that also has a key in it. Go to press the start stop. It will not start with the key fobs clearly in the car, both working, unlocking and locking the doors. This is a common problem with Nissan, and I'm a little bit frustrated because I had this car towed to 15 miles to the nearest Nissan dealer after explaining to them on the phone exactly what was happening, and them telling me that the remotes probably need to get reprogrammed. So I paid $140 to tow it to the nearest Nissan dealer. And over the phone, I described these problems. The key fobs work on the doors. It opens and closes. It unlocks and locks. These lights are what I'm seeing here. And no one could tell me that, oh, it happens to be that this is a common problem with Nissan products. The Altima, not so much the Cube, because not a lot of people bought Cubes. There's not as many Cubes out there as there are Altimas. But at the same time, this was a common problem and a recall, actually. So it turns out this car had been in for the recall. It had been discovered that the ESCL, the electronic steering column lock, located on the steering column, would fail. That's this. And if it doesn't get the right switching signals when it's looking for it, then it's not going to let the engine start. So you could be in a parking lot somewhere in your own driveway. You could be 120 miles away from home and it will not start. There's no way to start this vehicle if that fails. And it's a common problem with Nissan. There are petitions. There are you go online. I'll tell you what, don't buy a Nissan product, because this car has already been fixed by Nissan and it already failed. We got this car like 3 months ago and it's found dead in driveway, FDID. So I'm not a huge video editor, so I'll be doing this in installments, but I just wanted to point out that the key fobs are working. They both work. They unlock and lock the doors. They do everything. Obviously, when I put my foot on the gas, the car knows that the key is here. But because it's not getting a signal from the ESCL, it won't let it start. It's a safety feature. It's an anti-theft feature, so that if you happen to leave your fob, no, I don't know what it is. Oh, well, because it's a push button start, you don't have that mechanical steering lock that you normally would have with, a normal car. When you get out of the car, you can crank it and it'll lock the steering wheel mechanically inside the ignition. But because it's a push button start, they need this module to lock the steering wheel so that someone can't hotwire the thing. So what I've done so far, pardon me, I'm going to crack a beer. I can't even roll down the windows. So what I've done so far is I've taken this off, and it has these security screws on the top that, I'll zoom in there and try to get it to focus. There's no way to remove those. So this fits around the steering column like this, per se, and it just, hangs on there. It's a non-removable part. So some people have tried to take a Dremel and cut a little notch in there for a standard screwdriver, but that didn't work for me. So what I ended up doing was I took the Dremel and just cut it completely, and you get it off. Now once you get it off, this part is not meant to be opened, but there's 4 retainer pins that you can't punch them out. You can't really do much other than drill them out. So I have done that, and you got to be careful. Don't drill too far into the body of the part. And so this is the actual locking mechanism. So you can see it's out, and it's spring loaded, and it pops up, whenever. And there's probably there's a recess under here on the steering column that it would lock into. So I have this part off. I have it drilled out, and you can see how it it's deceiving, because you think you drill all the way in, you drill the pin out, and it's good, but in fact there's these little tabs that sit inside. So you need to drill it far enough through so that the pin is just gone. It's not like, at first I thought it was this outer rib, but it's not. It's actually inside of the thing. So got that off. Really not much to say about the top piece here. Cast aluminum. And then we get inside. So here's the lock, the spring-loaded lock mechanism. There's this wheel that turns on a worm gear from this motor here. And when it's unlocked, it will... So right now would be like locked position. These 2 little micro switches are up. They're not being made right now, per se. When it's unlocked, it sinks down into its little thing, and it presses on those micro switches. No, it's blurry. Come on. I don't know. Okay. Come on. All right. So you get the idea. So this thing is the locking lug, and this is the little arm that presses the micro switches. So when you get near the vehicle, I guess what happens is that this thing unlocks the steering column, or I'm not even sure. But from a previous YouTube video that I've seen, and I'll put a link in there. All you have to do is keep these depressed, and the car should start. So I'm in the early stages of this right now, and I don't have any kind of like fancy video editing software. So what I'm gonna do is do like a multi-part thing for this, but I just want people to know I had to have this car towed 15 miles for them to tell me that it's gonna cost me $900 in the shop. And I said, hell no, and I had it returned to my house for another $140 because of these two little micro switches and a common Nissan part that fails. It's very frustrating, and I want to get the knowledge out there because I could have saved myself in the realm of $300 to $400 once this is all said and done. So just trying to let people know what I found, kind of take you on the journey, and look forward to part 2 of this installment. Thanks.